Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to Pulaski County Fiscal Court. We've got a great crowd with us today. It's going to be a good meeting. I've asked, as is customary, we open up in Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked today one of our heroes and first responders, Benji Howard, if you'd be so kind as to open us up in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd all stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of our minutes from our previous meeting. You all received a copy of those. Do you have any changes or recommendations?
Motion.
Second. Motion and second to accept the minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next then, I'm gonna, for in the essence of time here, we've got a few groups with us that we'd like to brag on a little bit, and you can look around the crowd, see some youth here in our midst, and we want to give out a few awards. And Danny Maston, if you don't mind to come up, and we'll let you introduce folks that need to be introduced here.
Okay. Each April, we do the Pulaski County Clean Sweep in cooperation with Pride, and I'd like to invite Ms. Tammy Nazario up, President and CEO of Pride, as we have some awards we'd like to give out to the groups. This year, we had 1,261 volunteers for a total of 2,407 hours and a total of 1,928 bags of trash cleaned up out of our community this April. There are 72 businesses and schools that participated, and at this time I'll let Tammy speak a little bit more about the Clean Sweep, and we'll present some awards. So whenever we present awards, if the magistrates and judge, if y'all wouldn't care to get back behind, and we'll bring each group up and get a picture real quick with each of them.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Judge, members, for having me here today. The most favorite part of my job, I get to recognize the volunteers that give so much of themselves to make what I do really easy. So very thankful for our volunteers. Pride has been very fortunate. We recruit between 25 and 30,000 volunteers a year across 42 counties, but this is by far our largest cleanup in all 42 counties. So that's says a lot about Pulaski County. And this one has continued to grow every year. This was our 11th year this year, and this was by far the biggest year. And I want to say a special thank you to Danny Maston, who heads that up, because we definitely could not do it without him. So thank you, Danny. And our first award is going to go to the community group, volunteer group, first runner-up. And that's going to go to the Cub Scout Pack 184.
Picture all together, or I think they're going to each group. Take a group. Yeah. Way to work.
Ready?
Congratulations.
Thank you all.
I'll go hang around. I like the way three groups.
And our community group winner goes to the Garland Bend Homeowners Association. Thank you so much.
Another one of our school groups here, right? Thank you all. Congratulations.
Thank you. Our next group, our next award is for the school group first runner-up, and that's going to go to Meese Middle School.
Congratulations, y'all.
Thank you. Our school group with the most volunteer participation was Southern Middle School.
This group here took a two bus loads of kids down to Pulaski Park, right?
Right.
And did they clean up at 3 bus loads? 2 or 3? 2 bus loads of kids to Pulaski Park to clean up, so we're very thankful for what they did for us down there.
We need the help.
Congratulations. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have fun at camp. Thank you. All right, our business group, first runner-up, New Life Industries.
Congratulations.
And the final award goes to the business group with the most volunteer participation to the winner, and that is the Kentucky Department of Transportation, District 8. Thanks again for letting us be here today.
All right. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you all for all you do. Appreciate you. I will say that with all the rains and the floods that we had early on in January and February, I've gotten so many compliments on how good the area looks, how clean the lake is. So we've all come together and done a wonderful job to make Pulaski County just a destination spot for so many people. And I'm proud of the way we pulled together as a community to do that. And I know, Tammy, you've had a lot to do with that through your office, so thank you.
Cleared the house out.
All right. Next item then will be new business. We've got a few things. Of course, you're aware we applied for a grant to do pour in place rubber surfacing. We were awarded the grant. Now we need to advertise to bid for that grant. So I would need a motion and a second to allow us to advertise for that bid.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And similarly, we've also got a grant to do rubberized asphalt surfacing over on Thurman Road. We need permission to advertise for that bid as well.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussions? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? Okay. And next item then, when we sent out our yearly bids, I guess there was no mission to advertise for oil bids. We didn't have that included on the bid package, so we need to rebid oil to get bids in.
For mechanical or equipment and stuff, no one submitted a bid.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then finally, we have our bond hearing scheduled on July 9th, which, it's difficult to get a bond hearing. That's the only date we could get, and it falls on our court date. So we would like to ask permission to change the July 9th court meeting, and we can go either on Monday the 8th or Wednesday the 10th. You all have a preference?
Wednesday probably better for me. We could do Wednesday.
Monday's right after the holiday.
So Would Wednesday be okay with everybody?
Wednesday would probably better for finance, and
And that will be a special called meeting.
it will be a special called meeting.
So do we have a motion to change that meeting to the 10th at 10 o'clock?
Motion. Second.
We have 2 motions and 2 seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you all.
And any of the magistrates that would like to attend the bond hearing, just let me know and we'll get up there. It's boring.
at?
It's a DLG in Frankfurt.
All right, next thing, we've got 2 vehicles that we need to replace, 2 emergency vehicles, one for the coroner's office, one for, I guess, the constables want to purchase a vehicle and run it through the county lease. Is that correct? Am I
Yes.
wording that right? So we.
And it will come, the coroner will, or not coroner, well, coroner of course, but did you say constable? That will come out of drug forfeiture money, just to make that abundantly clear, the payment for it.
So we're adding one onto our lease program that we currently have. Or, no, we're adding 2 onto our lease program? Or,
The van that they've been using forever in transport, so we're looking at either add the lease and our purchase. But in order to order it, to get pricing for next fiscal year. So after the court, John and I will meet with Ben Franklin and sit and negotiate.
Don Franklin.
Don Franklin, his brother's Ben, that we'll be meeting with.
We're gonna make
Talk
some
about
electricity
pricing and
people.
contract.
on the corner vehicle?
Yes.
On a constable vehicle, is that going to be a lease vehicle, or is that going to be
It's
a
a
purchase?
lease.
vehicle?
It's a lease to purchase,
At least 2 purchase?
yes.
Okay.
And the money is there
Yes.
for the payments.
The motion to move forward there? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item will be our department reports. Road Department, Eugene?
All I have for today is a road work request, and a request for 400 tons of hot mix.
Have any speed limit signs to?
Motion on the road work.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Jason,
All in favor?
good job.
No.
Road work.
Any in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
How about the hot mix? Did you want to?
Motion for 400-ton hot mix?
Second.
Yeah, we need to do that too. We have 400 tons of hot mix to purchase. We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Eugene. Let's see, our animal shelter, Adam, I guess you've got a grant that you're going to apply for.
Good morning. It's that time of year for the Cattlemen's Association grant. I just want permission to apply for this grant, to try to get us some
Motion to
money.
apply.
Second.
We have a
How much is
motion.
it this year? How much? up
Well, it's
to?
normally $3,000. We've not got that yet, but we can try.
We have a motion and a second. Now, this will be a matching grant, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we've been doing that for years, I guess, so. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Appreciate y'all.
Danny, did you have anything else from solid waste? All right, our sheriff, I believe, has something to ask for today.
Good morning.
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 We also have a grant that we would like to submit to the Department of Homeland Security to help update our communication base that would allow us to go digital at some time in the future. This grant is a 75-25 matching, 75 on the part of the grant, 25 would be on the part of the sheriff's office. It's a total of $91,347.67.
Motion to apply?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Brings us to our treasurer's report. Joan, you've got a few things, looks
I
like.
do. The first item I would have would be the first bill list for June, which you should have received.
Y'all got a copy of that? Would you have any questions or take a motion to accept it?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries.
The next item I have is the bank reconciliations for the month of May.
Questions, or we'll entertain a motion to accept it?
Motion.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I did not have a fund transfer for this court meeting, but to take its place, I would like to bring up for your consideration or for your review, as most of you know, during the month of June, we are required to review our personnel policy and administrative code. I would like to take, you should have a copy of each of those. The changes that are being considered are have been highlighted in these documents. And I would like to take this as the first reading because these are ordinances. And they do require first, second reading, and advertisement. There's not a whole lot of changes, Jimmy.
Yeah, any changes there are highlighted in yellow. They're not,
Yeah,
not
very,
many.
very few. But also, when you are reviewing these, should you find anything that needs to be updated or changed, please bring that to mine or Donita's attention, and we can work that out.
So, this being a first reading, all we'll need is permission from the court to advertise for our second reading.
Motion to advertise.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries. And meanwhile, if you have anything that you'd like to see added or deleted, please get in touch with us here before the second reading takes place.
Also, we would, did y'all vote on both of those at the same time?
No, that was personnel, now we need to do administrative.
Yes.
Motion.
Second.
The same, and we're asking a motion for advertising. This will be a first reading of administrative code, but our ask is to be able to advertise it for second. So we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
One last thing, we have two accounts that are currently with First and Farmers, and it would be to our benefit to change those accounts to Cumberland Security for various reasons. availability, interest rates, and ease of service due to some of the things that Cumberland Security offers us that for no cost that First and Farmers does not. I would like to ask if we could change the road fund and the general fund to Cumberland Security.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. I think that's all I have today. Unless I remember something
Well,
before we
that's
close.
all on the agenda with no further business.
Wait a minute, what about 4th of July week? I've had a bunch wanting us to be off the 5th. Is that all right with everybody else? If it is, I'd like to make a motion that we close the July the 5th. Second.
We got a motion and a second to be closed on July 5th. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Well, y'all make the big bucks. Make those decisions. There's no further business. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed?
I fell asleep, you fell asleep.